Wallpaper options are endless, and often our choices are based on being safe. For various reasons, that is. In this episode, I'm going to challenge you to push your creativity and embrace your fun summary side, because what I'm going to offer you is a no inhibitions take on wallpaper. In this episode, we're going to be having a close look at AS Creation Calibri, AS Creation Versace 4, as well as Nina Campbell Ashdown and Christian Lacroix Paradise Baudet. Summer is approaching rapidly, and with that is that loose term, seasonal wallpaper. You know, putting a wallpaper up is an expensive exercise and you have to think it through because you have to live with it for so long. What if I told you that it might not have to be like that? So we have a brand called AS Creation that is so cost effective that the price tag reminds you of prices that we last saw in 2011 and 2012. Super cost effective papers that allows you to be liberal enough to literally stick up whatever you like and not feel bad if you have to rip it down a year or a year and a half from now when the season changes. So with summer in mind, I've selected a couple of selections from both AS Creation as well as some beautiful other collections that I think would link well. So the first collection, and under the AS Creation banner, is called, and Living Walls that is called Calibri, and Calibri encapsulates summer. Now when I say cost effective, these guys are super reasonable, and this is one of an ocean of sample books. They are literally, this is very stylized, very specific, but there's other papers that are also super duper useful with interesting textures and all these sort of things. So if you're decorating on a budget, those are also quite useful to know, and very summery, that is. And then as we flick through, you'll see that same geometric also in like an oceany sort of palette. And then this super fun design right here, which I think is really, really useful, even for post-summer, as adding that little bit of interest and fun into your scheme. What's also useful with all these papers is the fact that it's a vinyl paper that is matte and super forgiving. So when I say super forgiving, think walls that are less than perfect, because part of the monetary investment that we have to think about sometimes is the fact that walls need to be skimmed and all these sort of things. So the nice thing with this is the fact that it's a vinyl and you can kind of get away with less than perfect walls. I would check with the installer first before you do it, but the nice thing with these is the fact that they are not shiny and they are super forgiving on less than perfect walls. And like I said before, AS Creation is really reasonable, and it really gives you the freedom to put something up for the fun of it and not have to stress too much about the monetary investment associated with it. So be sure to check it out. And then really, really exciting is this monster of a book, and it really encapsulates summer. Think 91 Versace show with all the international models walking down the runway singing freedom. Now this really gives you the freedom to do whatever you want. And Versace 4, which is, as you can see, a monster of a book, is jam-packed full of typical Versace sort of designs in a typical Versace sort of palette. The color palette is unashamedly fun, bright and summery as Versace. And as you can see, it's jam-packed full of those Medusas and Royal Baroque Rococo sort of style designs. So I'm going to do a quick flick through because I really, really think you should have a look at this one in the showroom. And there we have summer with the Medusas and the lashes and everything else. And the same design coming in an aqua sort of colorway, very typical Versace colorway. And then paging further through, we'll see quite a fun take on a tropical design, which I think is super crazy and super fun, with like these ornamental birds in hot pink and fuchsias. I think it's so much fun. And a brand that encapsulates the joie de vivre of the summery, fun, tropical wallpaper trend is Christian Lacroix. In saying that it's quite trendy, a Christian Lacroix paper from 4 years ago is still as relevant today as what it was 4 years ago, and that gives you a lot of food for thought. So you might think, sure, that is pushing the boundary, and this is something that really is something that I wouldn't normally or necessarily do. I think putting a paper up like this might be boundary pushing, but you know, sometimes you just got to risk it to get that full look. This collection in particular is called Paradise Baudet, and typical Lacroix, you'll also see a typical palette from him. ranging in the aqua blues and metallics and blacks, and he does it so well. I adore this design, and I love the fact that he always includes a metallic ground, so it gives you a little bit of movement on this design. What's nice about this is the fact that once it's up, that metallic ground disappears and literally just gives you the movement that you want. And then last one up, and definitely not least, is the new Nina Campbell that has just literally launched, and it is called the collection, as you can see, I'm just going to quickly show you the cover, is called Ashdown, and there's one design in particular here that I think is so beautiful and it definitely deserves a mention, and it is called Ben Moore. And Ben Moore is typical Nina Campbell and also encapsulates that summer spirit so beautifully. Now Nina always includes a beautiful fern design or a beautiful palm design, but I think she really outdid herself with this design in particular. And I love the fact that she's also done it on a dark ground to give that extra bit of dimension and depth that we're all looking for. And the greens are soft and subtle, which also means that 9 out of 10 times a paper like this might be boundary pushing to you now, but a few years from now, because I think this could last a few years actually, as opposed to being a seasonal paper, you'll love it more and more every day. And it comes in some great colorways, ranging from the dramatic black all the way through to the typical soft aquas from Nina Campbell, and then this one, which I think is absolutely exquisite, on the soft millennial pink background, which I think is beautiful. So the collection is called Ashdown, and I'd definitely have a look at it in the showroom. That was a very brief overview of what we really have on offer in terms of wallpaper. So, like I said, seasonal wallpaper. I hope you have the guts to really push that boundary a bit and put something up that you love as opposed to something that you feel is safe. With that being said, also, please know that Home Fabrics has the biggest selection of wallpaper available in the South African market. So next time you're looking for something specific, please pop past and have a look. We hope you enjoyed this episode and found it valuable and informative, and that you're going to push that boundary a little bit more when you're selecting wallpaper in the future. To recap, we had a look at Christian Lacroix Paradis Barbaret, AS Creation Calibri, AS Creation Versace Volume 4, as well as Nina Campbell Ashdown. If you have any questions, please tweet us at HomeFabricsSA, #HFTrends. If you enjoyed this content and found it valuable, please like and share. Also hit the bell icon and subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the link to HF Inner Circle. That's a link to our weekly newsletter where we share regular information that is valuable. With that being said, bye for now.